Spartan fans, today is the day your derivative life changes forever. I want you to find d dx of, how about x cubed minus 2x. So take a minute, pause the video, and give me an answer. Three x squared minus 2. All right. I can also ask you to find the slope of the tangent line at a specific point on this curve. So let's say, let's do at about at x equals 4, let's say. So if you wanted to find the slope of the tangent line to the f of x equals x cubed minus 2x at x equals 4. There's a long way to do this. There's a short way to do this. And of course, we're going to practice both. This is the slope of the tangent line anywhere on this function. By the way, it's a cubic, so what its end behavior is down up, and it's got some kind of funky little loop in it, or not loop, but a hump or something in the middle of it. Easiest way, plug in 4. So this would be the derivative d dx with respect to the function is the same thing as saying the f prime of x is equal to 3x squared minus 2. Plug in 4. 1648 minus 2. I think it's 46. Okay. Another way that we could do this, which of course is a little bit more time consuming. You have x cubed minus 2x. So you would say the limit as x approaches 4. The limit as h approaches 0, not x approaches 4. All right, so take a minute, figure out what that is. You should have gotten 46. So go back and pause if you need to. So the first step, find the general derivative. That's definitely your way to go, because then you could just plug in 4. If you don't know the general derivative and you're just given, an equation, find the slope of the tangent line at a specific point, this is what you would do. Okay, so there's this wonderful, wonderful shortcut for finding derivatives of functions. And today we're going to look at the power rule. The power rule says that if you have some function with some coefficient, let's just call it c for a coefficient, and x to the n, kind of like what you do with logarithms, you bring the exponent down in front. So I'm sorry, this should say really if f of x is cx to the n. That's better notation, much better notation. Then f prime of x, the derivative, and comes down in front. The exponent gets multiplied by the coefficient, and then decrease the power by 1. That is the power rule. most commonly used rule in all of the calculus. Exponent comes down in front, gets multiplied by the coefficient constant, decrease the power by 1. So in this previous example that we did, and the f of x was, what was it? X cubed minus 2x. F prime. Bring the 3 down in front. X, decrease the power by 1. Minus, pretend there's a 1 there. Bring the 1 down in front and multiply it by 2. Decrease the power by 1, which would be 0. And of course, anything to the 0 power is 1. 3x squared minus 2. If I'm not mistaken, that is what we got before, using the f of x plus h minus the f of x all over h. Shortcut. That's really it. I know you had to suffer through doing these all the long way, but you have to know how to understand it mathematically. So if it's the f of x is, how about negative 4x to the 5th plus about 17x cubed minus 5. So for the power rule, let's zoom in here. There we go. I can do the power rule for each individual term. This is a trinomial, so I'm going to apply the power rule 3 times. 5 comes down in front, multiply it by the negative 4. Decrease the power by 1, that's a 4. Plus 3 comes down in front, multiply it by the 17, decrease the power so it becomes squared. The derivative of a constant is 0. The derivative of a constant is 0. How does that happen? Okay, so just for argument's sake, technically that is 5x to the 0. Anything to the 0 power is 1. I mean, technically that's what it is. We of course never write that, but I will show you what's going on. Bring the 0 down in front, multiply it by the coefficient, decrease the exponent by 1. That's just gone. So the answer to this is negative 20 x to the 4th, 3 times 17, 51, I hope. And there's your derivative. Now, if I ask you to find the equation of a tangent line at a specific point, so let's say, let's find the equation of the tangent line at x equals, how about negative 5 to the f of x equals, how about, oh, I don't want to do super huge numbers, but whatever, 2x, negative 2x to the 3rd minus 4x squared plus 1. So before you would have done the limit, and you'll still have to be able to show me the long way, the limit as h approaches 0 of the f of negative 5 plus h minus the f of negative 5 all over h. And then you would have to plug in negative 5 plus h, negative 5 plus h, do the cubing, do the squaring, whatever. Lucky for you, you now know the power rule. So the first thing I'm going to do is find the derivative. Three comes down in front times -2 is -6. Decrease the exponent by 1. 2 comes down in front, multiply, you get 8x. The derivative of 1, it's a constant, is 0. Okay, now I need to find the slope. And the slope I want to know at the point -5. So the f prime of -5 is -6 times -5 squared minus 8 times -5. 25 times -110. So this is the slope. That is super, super steep. Holy cow. No thanks. I'm not gonna be rolling down that hill. Did I do that right? 25. Okay. And now let's write the equation. I have my slope. I need the ordered pair. So what is this point when x is -5? What's y? Plug that in. I got 151. Hopefully that's correct. Plug in here. I know the slope. I know the point. So in point slope form, y minus 151 is -110 times the quantity x plus 5. That should be it. That's the beginning of the power rule. I'm going to look at one more. If you happen to have your book, great. If not, no problem. Look at x and y intercepts of the tangent line. So if you happen to have your book, this is number 30 on page 110. No, page 120. Okay, and so you are given that y equals x cubed at the point -2, -8. Try and get the zooming better. What are the x and y intercepts of the tangent line to the curve? Okay. Of the tangent line to the curve. Okay, so we need to know the slope and in order to find the tangent line. So y prime, you'll see it written sometimes as y prime, is 3x squared. 3 comes down in front, it's a coefficient, decrease the power by 1. So this is the equation of the tangent. I can be able to find the slope of any point on this curve using this equation. So clearly x is -2. So at x equals -2, y prime is 12. All right, so use point slope form. Y plus 8 equals the slope is 12 times the quantity x plus 2. I am going to convert it to slope-intercept form so that I can find the y-intercept rather quickly. So this is going to be y equals 12x 24 minus 8, I believe is 16. 24 minus 8, yeah. So the y-intercept is 0, 16. You don't need to label it. If x is 0, that's automatically the y-intercept. And then the x-intercept is going to be negative 4/3. Yeah. No more x plus h unless I make you. So that is the power rule. There are many, many more rules to come, and we'll get there.